Why? I'm freaking doing awesome. I'm killing this thing. Why the hell would you send me back? Playing a little tiny violin. I understand. Got it. Hey there, my name is Jason. I'm a registered polysomnographic technologist or a sleep tech. I am also the lanky lefty 27, the channel you're watching right now. I'm the founder of freecpapadvice.com and freecpapadvice.com/forum, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a forum. I get a lot of questions off of my forum, and this one is from Derek out of Duluth. It's as good a name and city as any. Anyway, oh, God damn it. But the question is when is a retest needed in a sleep lab? What are your thoughts on that, Jason? When is a retest needed in a sleep lab? And then there was some, hey, is this a big money grab? Or the doctor's making money? Why are you guys taking my money? Is pretty much what the thought was. And I can completely 100% understand that. So this is coming from the perspective of you had a great sleep study, found a pressure for you. They sent you home on, let's say, an APAP machine, auto titrating CPAP machine, or whatever it is. Well, let's go with auto titrating CPAP machine. So you're on this pressure, you're doing really well, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, your doctor wants you to go back in for another sleep study. And you're like, why? I'm freaking doing awesome. I'm killing this thing. Why the hell would you send me back? You are a money-grubbing prick, doctor. I can understand that thought process coming through. Let me argue this point, and then we'll do a little common sense test. So if this is in fact what's happening, one, you could just ask your doctor, like, hey, Dr. Pricky, Mr. McPrickerson, why are you sending me back for a sleep study? And then they'll probably answer and they say, oh, I got that boat payment. And then you're like, okay, you're a dick. Or they might say, oh, you know what? It's an insurance thing. And what they mean by that, if they say it's an insurance thing, which is kind of a dicked up way to answer a question, is that it's an insurance requirement. So a lot of insurance companies will follow Medicare guidelines. And what Medicare tends to do is every couple of years, they want you to be reevaluated. They also want to check to see, well, yeah, I'm about to say the same thing. They want you to be reevaluated, make sure you still have sleep apnea. How many spontaneous cases of sleep apnea being cured out of nowhere in my life that I've ever seen is probably like none. So for some reason though, Medicare has it in their head that if they retest you and they find that you don't have sleep apnea, they can stop paying for your machine and supplies. I don't think that ever really happens. So what they end up doing is they pay for another test and find out, yep, they still need CPAP, and yep, they're still using it, and okay, we'll still pay for supplies. Now, if you don't do that, the doctor says, hey, you need to go in for a sleep study, and you say, blank you, establishment, then what they're gonna do is say, okay, and if your machine is being rented, they're gonna come and pick it up and take it away. If they already bought it for you, you're gonna find out that all of a sudden you can't get new masks and stuff. And if your machine breaks down, you don't get a new machine because you weren't retested. So usually it's an insurance thing. It's like practically like 90% of the time an insurance thing. So I can understand if you have an APAP machine, you're like, well, why do I need this stuff? I'm using, that free program Sleepyhead. I'm dialed in, I know exactly what's going on. Oftentimes it isn't because they think that your pressure is off or anything, although sometimes it is. There's a lot of gray area in this subject, so I understand everyone's gonna be like, that's not me, you're not talking about me. If I'm not talking about you, I'm not talking about you. Sometimes they do actually send people back for different pressures because they need to validate. I mean, this is a doctor. The doctor's signing off. This is the prescription. I'm playing devil's advocate here. Doctor is signing off. Say you're on ASV. Why don't they just send you home with an ASV and call it done? Well, one, the insurance company wants to know that it actually is appropriate for you and that it is going to work. So they want you to come in into the lab for that. This is, of course, if you've failed CPAP and you failed bilevel because you have Cheyne-Stokes respiration or periodic breathing, some kind of a central apnea that's not fixed by bilevel or bilevel with a backup rate. And so you're on auto servo ventilation, and they're not going to just say, hey, here's a machine, here's a mask, done with that guy, that thing fixes everything. What they want to do is make sure that it actually works, so the insurance will pay for it. And then they want to make sure that it's actually something that you're going to do before they fork out this large amount of money. And you may be sitting there going, God, all that time and stuff was wasted, but they're not just going to send you home with that thing willy-nilly. They also want to check that the pressure settings are appropriate for you and have you in a monitored setting before the doctor just signs off on it that, yep, this fix it. And then you croak because it wasn't right. And the family says, why didn't you do this and that? And you're like, oh, as the doctor. So that's why a lot of it is cover your ass. I don't want to go to that point unless the doctor actually owns a sleep lab. They're not making money on it at all. And by the way, if you have Medicare and the doctor owns a lab, the doctor's not making all that much money off it anyway. So this isn't like the big golden goose in the corner that it was back in the 90s. Sleep labs are definitely tightening up their belts, and we are definitely feeling it. Reimbursement is so low, it's not even funny. And playing the little tiny violin, I understand. Got it. There are a lot of things that are being done to be more efficient, those being things like home sleep testing and stuff like that. So that's where they're kind of skimping on costs as far as Medicare is concerned. So if we go to, pretend like you have private insurance. If you have private insurance and they are sending you back, like that you came in for a baseline study, and then you came in and all they did is ran a baseline study on you. This is just they're testing you as you normally sleep, meaning they're not putting CPAP on you, which is the treatment. So you just did the baseline segment, you slept all night, and then they say, hey, you have sleep apnea. Your apnea-hypopnea index was like 60, which is 1 time a minute of having an apnea or hypopnea. And if they didn't start you on CPAP, that's why you have to come back in. Then at that point, it is totally excessive, and they are milking you dry like a big cow with buttery nipples. They're milking it. They're totally taking advantage of you because they should have done a split night study on that first night because apnea hypopnea index that high, you should be started on CPAP and get it going. Especially if you have a PPO, because then they're double billing you, and that is a good, I'm gonna go with $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 total that you're paying because of that. Out of pocket costs are 20% of that. So you're getting freaking milked. And at that point, yes, I'd absolutely be pissed. Not always is going back in for a titration just a doctor trying to make a boat payment. Oftentimes it has to do with the insurance company. So I'd start there first. Look at your own particular situation. Ask the doctor, is this really necessary? Is this something I can do at home with my current machine and figure this out? And a lot of times you'll find that your doctor is willing to work with you. All that said, if you have any questions, if I missed anything, if you have a particular situation that you're curious about, join my forum, freecpapadvice.com/forum. And you're gonna be super thankful. You're gonna be like, God damn it, Jason, you helped me so much. Big donate button right at the top. You can also donate be a monthly supporter of me on Patreon. It's patreon.com/free CPAP advice. And you will not regret it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Give this a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And please share this with all your buddies on social media, like Facebook. Like, look what I found, the Lanky Lefty. Ooh, he's so neat. He tells us all kinds of stuff. All right, thanks. Have a good night.